Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Guess what? Y'all know we back again in living color, and it's the weekend, baby. It's the week.
Hey.
For some people, it's their day of rest, their day of relaxation, because they are dropping off the stresses of the week. They went to
Mhm.
work. They dropped off the stresses of the week. Today, they're kind of letting that tension in the shoulders dissipate. It never completely goes away from what I'm told when you're still working. But they're trying to relax and get in a different frame of mind so that they can enjoy running their errands, enjoying being home with their families. And while we have your attention, because I hope we have your attention this morning, we're
Right.
still talking about Black Women Equal Pay Day
Mm.
and what it means and what the impact of not being equal. Now, we're not saying that everything is 50-50. We're not saying that, we are the be and end all, even though we are. Even though we are, we know that we are. You all know it
Mhm.
too, but you just don't want to admit it.
Right.
But it's okay because we're going to still be here talking about it. Thank you, CJ. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Thank you for joining us. We have been in the midst of Black Women Equal Pay Summit all since Thursday. And what we were talking about and will continue to talk about tonight at 8:45 p.m. Central. You can join us in the break room. We can have some conversations about, that workplace stuff, that wage gap. But what we've been talking about is how to close that wage gap. And a lot of times working on a job is definitely not going to close it because Bob and Billy and John, they sitting over there doing basically the same thing. Hell, Bob keep coming over there, dropping his work off on your desk. And
Hmm.
you said, wait a minute, Bob, I don't report to you. But Bob said, well, I think you're better suited for this. And you said, but Bob, I make 38 cents less than you. I think I'm gonna move that on back over to your desk because you getting the money for it. Okay.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about today. Closing that wage gap. How you gonna close it? What it actually means and the impact that it has on you mentally, emotionally, and physically. So please share out the broadcast because sharing is caring. And welcome to the BYOB weekend show. I'm Rose Fauntleroy, your virtual time and sales genie. You've heard me say it every day. I provide you more hands that provide you more time, where you make more sales, and my clients hire me to impact that bottom line, that money, that revenue. I'm going to pass it on off to my beautiful co host this morning. How y'all doing?
We doing good. We doing good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Are you guys ready? Or have you had your coffee, your breakfast? You got your
I have not
tea?
had coffee.
I ain't had nothing.
Me
And
neither.
I don't know how I'm gonna make it.
Look, y'all, I was like, dang, I gotta come on. And I'm just looking at that pot over there. It was like, man, I want to get, but I gotta come over here and come talk to you guys because it is so dear to our hearts about this Black Women Equal Pay Day. I mean, we've been fighting since day one, but now the bigger picture is we're fighting together. We gotta wake back up because some of us never stopped at all. We've just been fighting this fight alone, such as myself, but now, to be coming together like an army, you see these colors up here, we serious about this here, and we need you. We want you to join us, and you can do that by going to this link, bit.ly free women 2020. Let's get free together and unite together, and let's break through the glass ceilings of this unequal pay. We have to stop it. We have to. And we stop it by creating it, because we're not asking no more. We're going to take it. Period, point blank. And with that being said, I am Kayshawn Brooks. I am the owner of a luxury skincare and holistic company called Renew You Body Butters. My clients, they have me provide for them alternative remedies for their skin, hair, body, and I partner with amazing individuals who want to do the same thing and make additional income as well. So not only am I free, I'm helping others become more free as well. But what I noticed really quick, and I'm gonna dive into it a little later, but have you noticed in any career that anyone has been in, any successful person, they don't just work a 9 to 5 job and then go home and become rich.
Mm.
They don't. You don't see that nowhere. There is not one job on the face of this planet that someone can work for 8 hours and not do nothing else and be content. There's always something else they're doing. But I'll get into that in a minute. I'm gonna pass it along to my beautiful co-host.
Good morning. Good Saturday morning to everybody. It's just an honor and a privilege to be here. And I'm excited about the conversation that's going to take place today. I wish I could stay on the entire time, but it would not be the same if I didn't show up even for 5 minutes. I am Vicki Kirk May. I'm the Educator's Passion Accelerator. And when I say, um, normally I would say that I support teachers in transforming their body and their bank account. But today I'm going to say that I help, I support, I stand beside, I go before, I undergird um, educators who are ready to experience freedom and to experience freedom not just for themselves, but to help others to free themselves as well. Black women equal pay, closing the wage gap. For me, it's closing the freedom gap. It's closing the overflow gap. It's closing the abundance gap. It is leveling the playing field. It's saying that I matter and what I do matter. And it's time for us to show up in a mighty way. And the great thing about it is we don't have to stand alone. Sometimes on the journey, you have to be alone. But with Black women equal pay, we don't have to be alone in this. That we can stand together as individuals, but yet as one mighty sound, one strong heartbeat, one band, one army. And I'm glad to be on the front line. The front line isn't for everyone. And so I'm glad to be on the front line. I'm glad to be in the war with you guys because I know that there's victory in the end. There's no doubt about it. I'm not worried about my great great granddaughter because I know that whether she decides to be on someone else, to be an employer or an employee, that she will be treated fairly because of the decisions, because of the actions that we've taken here today. So great Saturday morning. You guys go be amazing, go be great. I have to actually bow out now because I have another engagement. But I share the broadcast. If any of this resonates with you, go on to bit.ly/free women 2020. Free yourself, position yourself for promotion, position yourself so that when you're on these jobs, you can tell them that I'm not only am I qualified, but I'm also certified. Sometimes we have to put some stuff in the arsenal. When you're in and when you're in war, you have to go and get is it the I think the right word is arsenal.
Hmm.
You need some stuff in your arsenal. So when they say that you're not qualified, you can say, bam, yes, I am.
In your war chest.
Exactly. So you all ladies have an amazing show. Like I know you are. So I'm not even that I'm not even concerned with. So I'll be watching you guys from the sidelines this morning. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Vicky, for
Thank
joining us.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you.
Well,
I love I loved her analogy, that arsenal. I love that because that's always, always been my MO. Always. It's like I be waiting for moments to just drop bombs on people. All the time, to this day. I love that. I loved her analogy. That just
I
sparked
love that
something.
too. In your arsenal. I think when I pinged you all this morning, I said gladiators. Who's
Yeah.
rolling this morning, gladiators? Put on your full armor.
Full
Put
armor.
on your full armor. And in putting on that full armor, you have to make sure that your arsenal, your war chest is stocked. Well, how do you go about stocking your war chest? How
Hmm.
do you make sure your arsenal is ready and up to par? Well, you do that by the life experiences you've had, the
Hmm.
education experiences you have had, by going to bit.ly/free women 2020. If you do not have some of those things in your arsenal, you can get certified in certain niche areas. That's also one way of fortifying your fortress. Because
Yes.
we going to war this morning. Okay,
Hmm.
we've been going to war all week, and the war
Oh.
continues. The fight continues. And it's sad that after over 50 years later, we are still fighting the same thing. But we're in a different era now, and our arsenal and our fortresses are strong. But why are they strong? Because we are learning to stand together as
Hmm.
one unified voice. And it's time to make some changes. It's time to make some changes. And I think we are here to do it because, as the shirt says, we still protesting.
Still protesting. And another thing, a part of your arsenal that you need a support system.
Absolutely.
Because it's not easy fighting a war. Because I've always, been able to, I would say, draw people in, to fight these battles with me. But then you get tired. But I remember, when I was trying to fight this wage gap, promotion gap, whatever. I'm a fight to get mine. But when people join you, that motivates you. That gives you more fuel. To propels you to keep going. So the more women that join this movement, that's going to fuel us even more. It's going to make that much more of a difference. We're going to make that much more of an impact. Like, just say, for example, one of our certifications is real estate. Isn't that correct? Yes. So real
Yes,
estate. Can you
ma'am.
imagine? We all say it's 1,000 of us, and we all get this certification in real estate, and then we take that knowledge, and the whole 1,000 of us, go out here and start buying and flipping this property. Can you imagine what we will do, the impact of the wage that we would have shifted, but that would have happened and been at that impact, great of an impact, because it would have been so many of us. So that's why we're coming to you on a hourly, daily, basis, because we want you. We have to. If we don't do something about it, who is? you know? No one is, and it may not, happen tomorrow, next week, or next month as far as breaking through this glass ceiling, but as long as we're taking steps each day. And you can take a step also by going to that link at bit.ly Free Women 2020, because that's what each and every one of us did. And it's scary, gearing up for war, to make,
It
it is scary, but the reward is beautiful. You feel
is.
so much self worth and self value, and then, it makes you look at it in all areas of your life too. And
Absolutely. Going to war is scary because it's a risk. It's a risk because it may not be a guarantee that you're going to win. But as long as you are making strides toward the goal, the mark that you've set, then you are winning. You're
yeah.
winning in steps and you're winning in process. But
Hmm.
when you become a unified front,
Mm,
a community with one voice pushing toward one goal, you can't help but win.
can't help but win.
You can't help but win. When they see the gladiators suit up,
Hmm.
they know that there's good trouble in the air.
Right? Good
So,
trouble with the air.
right. In the war that we're fighting is that wage gap war.
Hmm.
I mean, think about it. For every $1 that your white male counterpart makes, you make 62 cents. Over the life of your career, over the life of your career, 38 cents adds up over the
Okay.
lifespan of your career. That's close to $1 million. And I think we don't look at it like that or see it that heavily because we don't see that 1 million or that $947,000, just what's $1 million, sitting in your bank account one day and gone the next.
Right.
If that were the case, the impact would be felt a lot greater. But you feel the impact now.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the impact now because when you want to do something for your children and you just don't have the resources to do
Mm.
it,
Right.
that's the impact of that 38 cents.
And just to throw it up in there, some of these men who have spouses, partners, girlfriends, whatever you want to call your significant other. But I know if I was a man and I had somebody that I was with, I'd be like, hey, where my woman's $1 million at? We need our $1 million in the house. It's
That's
like,
right.
so men, you need to be backing us up because that's money out of your household if you have that one unit partnership. But it's like, damn, that's $1 million out of your household as well. And what
Exactly.
you have done with that? I mean, literally every woman on the face of this planet that has ever had a financial issue in their life would not be, would not have had it. Well, I would not gonna say every, but I would say up to $1 million. So that's a lot of us. That's millions of us. I'm gonna even stretch and say maybe a couple billion of us on the planet that we could have used that $1 million just about, and we would not have went through some of the things we would have went through. We wouldn't have needed, any type of government assistance. We wouldn't have needed any type of GoFundMe accounts or out here trying to apply for loans and things like that because we would have had what was rightfully ours. So you want to try to say, you know, um, reference everything back to our coach's book that just launched yesterday, how we're angry,
But the
we're
words
mad,
right out of my mouth.
and all of that stuff. You wouldn't even be able to say that if you would have given me my $1 million. None of that.
I don't care if you say it or not, because I can sit here and tell you that those myths are not true. And that's what tends to happen. Society keeps dropping these nuggets of and planting these seeds that
Mm-hmm.
are not true.
Right.
Black women don't get along. That's a lie.
Okay.
That's not the truth. That's a lie. You see us up here getting along. When we get off here, we're not going back behind the scenes and throw blows. That's not what we do.
Mm-mm.
We don't hog welfare. We don't do that. The
Mm-mm.
statistics, the statistics prove it out and show that we don't. Those are myths and lies that have been perpetuated to try to keep you in a certain place. Well, it's
Keep
time
your
out for
mind somewhere.
yeah, it's a mindset. It's a change of the mindset. Time out for all of that. We're on a wage gap war. Okay? And the best way to close your wage gap is to fund something and do something for yourself. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for someone else, because I know folks say, "Oh, y'all talking about a wage gap, wage gap. It's not going to close. Stop being a victim." No, we're not being a victim. We're bringing forth the information so that you know, so that when we close it, you'll see that we
Mm-hmm.
are the victors. Because that's what happens when you go to war. There's a victim, and then there's a victor. There's
Hmm.
a winner, and then there's a loser. And guess who is not gonna be on the losing side? Us black women that you see walking around every day.
Over here.
Us women, period. Now, for black women, it's a 62 cents to a dollar. But for women of color overall, it's still a gap. So don't think that because you are not a woman of color, okay, that you don't have a gap.
Right.
Sister, you have a gap too. For
Okay.
overall, it's 82 cents to every man's dollar. So yes, men should be jumping on board with us, because if you're married, that money is coming out of your household.
Hmm.
That yeah, you out there busting your butt, but you could work a little easier, spend more time with your family
Right.
if that money wasn't coming out your wife's pocket. Okay? And then think about how that impacts your wife, your girlfriend, your spouse.
Right.
Think about how that um think about how that impacts her if you're single. You work say 35, 40 years. You've lost almost $1 million. Okay? So when you retire, how does that affect your health care? How does that affect where you can live in retirement? How does that affect what you can do in retirement? Hell, how does it affect your health because you worked all those years, didn't have money to take care of your health, not just your physical health, but your mental and emotional health? So, how does that affect all of that over the years? So, see, it's a bigger impact than just the money,
Right.
than just the money.
It is.
Good morning, Bertha, and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. As you can tell, I was having some technical difficulties, but
Yeah, the internet is not letting us be great.
right, exactly. So I'm just trying to get it together here. But I am so glad to be here this morning, even though I am a tad bit late. Uh, uh, Hello to everyone, and I'm just gonna listen to you all until I'm still having some difficulties now.
We
So
got you.
with y'all,
We
just
got you.
a second. Okay,
You good? We got you.
okay,
See, this just look, we showing them live in action. Over here, we keep it going, we keep it pushing. This ain't nothing but a little, what you call it, a gremlin the other day, Rose. This ain't
Oh
nothing
yeah,
but
you got not.
look,
Don't look. Don't get no water. Don't spill no water anywhere, because that'll feed the gremlins. Knock that little gremlin out the way.
mm-hmm,
okay.
okay. And it's like that's nothing but a distraction. But we
Right,
not about to pay any attention to that because we at war. We've been at war all week. Our armor been up, it's been full, it's been shining, it's been getting strength. and we keep it pushing over here, and we have to keep fighting for what's ours. And we do that by creating it. Aren't Don't you get tired of asking people for stuff? Don't you get tired of like, oh my gosh, I got to take another class. I got to go to school for this, and I got to go to this meeting for that, or it's just an uphill battle that when you're working for other people, it's just an uphill battle that you're never really going to get to the top. Period. That's really what it is, and you have to look on the outside, which brings me back to what I mentioned earlier, how there isn't anyone that works a regular 8-hour job and don't do nothing else. I mean,
That's right.
every successful person, either they're like buying land, have, some kind of side business, they have another job, two, three, four jobs, or whatever. No one, I mean, how much would you have to make? What, $1,000 an hour? Really to be like, you know what, I don't have to do nothing, and I make $8,000 a day. I think, I'm just making up a number, but there's no job out there legally that you can go get some education for and make $1,000 a day. They don't teach us that in high school and through academic school or through college, which job is going to teach you, pay you $1,000 an hour. It doesn't exist. So you have to go out there and create it. We're not sitting up here, telling you to go into these back into these companies and fight them. Use them to your advantage, such as if they don't want to pay you the money that you deserve, that you earn, you know what? I'm gonna go to school and get my bachelor's degree, and because you offer a discount, I'm gonna get something up out of you some kind of way. Oh, y'all offer these $10,000 certification programs. I won't folk. I'm gonna be done. I ain't gonna never be at work. You're gonna pay me, but I'm gonna go take everything under the sun. I don't even care if I wasn't interested. I'm gonna be here just to make you spend some money just so you can pay for that and pay me at the same time. So it's like use them to your advantage so that you can, you got to be creative, I should say, when you're trying to lessen this wage gap. And that's one of the ways, start using all the benefits that you can get. Because again, when you do that, all of that stuff I did, I'm able to utilize that later on. What you think, Bertha? Since you perfect and great now, you can chime on in.
No, I've been working, I tell you. But yes, I tell you, with the equal pay, we definitely need to have it. You know, we work hard as women, and I love this community. That's what I love about it, because we learn so much about different things, uh, for as women and equal pay and just so many
Hmm.
topics, just everything, So um, that's what I gather here in this community, So, and I love being around all you sisters to help me in this community. So I am just learning more and more and more each each time I come together with everyone.
Right. Sherry just commented, I love it. It's the same job. It should be the same pay. You better believe it. The same job. I want the same money. And if that's another thing too. I know how to streamline the hell out of processes where just because it takes you 8 hours to do something and I can do it in 2.5, that was one way how I was able to cut the gap. And they kind of caught on to that and they would be mad. But it's like, so what? You paying me less than what he making, and just because he making more and it takes him 8 hours, I gotta get creative. I gotta get smart. So now what you do in 8 hours, I'm gonna do in 2.5, and you gonna leave me the hell alone and pay me my 62 less, money than him. Period. You know,
Mhm.
but you can't do that all the time. But you have to be creative. I'm gonna go back to that. Be creative and get what you can out of these.
Creative.
Mm-hmm.
If
Do some.
anyone
Yeah.
can stretch anything again makes something out of nothing, it's us. It's us women.
Mm-hmm.
And that and that shows too though that you're more qualified than
Mm-hmm.
your counterpart sitting over there who's making 62 cents more than you because you streamline and save time. Saving time saves money. That affects your bottom line. So, in essence, you were saving them time and you were growing their bottom line by streamlining those processes. So, really, that 62 cents should have been going into your paycheck and coming out of here. But
Right.
fortunately, they don't see it like that. But I think that we are in an era now where it's time for those things to change. That's why we are still protesting because
True.
it inequality cannot continue.
Mm-mm.
It has to change. Change has to come. And yes, it is an uphill battle, but it is a battle that we have to dig in and be in the trenches for.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all
That's
think?
true.
It's true.
It is. It is. I agree. We gotta be prepared, and you get prepared for this by going to this link and registering, by joining this community in any way, whether that's, through the membership, through this certification, becoming a mentee. You help fight this fight by doing something. That's another thing too. Sometimes, like I've been there, we do got to depend on these jobs, use these jobs and have them give you this money so that you can pay that what is it, 5 or 10% of the balance of this grant so that you can be like, you know what, let me go show you what it's like to really go make some money, you know,
Exactly.
with less work. And I want to say another thing. When you're in war, you got to be ready to embrace the battles that are ahead. Like we know this is not going to be an easy battle, but because we're together, we have that support of one another, and we
Right.
get
Yeah,
that
that's right.
strength, to keep on going. Because just because we together, it's not easy, and it doesn't always have to be like a negative fight. Like we was just talking right before we went live, like, man, girl, how many hours did you sleep? What, 3, 4? And she was like, shoot, I was about to ask you same thing. And but that's just a part of this battle,
Mhm.
where because we're trying to not trying, because we are changing this wage gap, you got to lose a little bit of sleep sometimes.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice some things.
Hmm.
Everything is there's a sacrifice in everything, but the sacrifice doesn't always have to be bad. You hear
Right.
sacrifice, give up, don't do. Well, no, it's not like that all the time. It
Hmm.
goes back to that
Okay.
mindset. It goes back to that mindset. Okay, yeah, I may sacrifice something now, but it's to get more on the front end. So
Hmm.
on the back end, I may give up a little sleep, but on the front end, I'll be able to sleep until I get tired of sleeping.
Right.
So, do you want to travel the road that everyone else travels? Because it's really crowded there on that road. Or do you want to take the path less traveled? The path less traveled, and you travel it with some folks who are of the like mind as you in that business sense,
Hmm.
want to close their wage gap just like you want to close yours. You can
Yeah.
apply for a grant. And how do you do that? You apply for this grant and you start something of your own. We have 12 certifications: health, passion, life coaching, executive coaching, business coaching, real estate. They're not making any more land, so you better get you some now while you can.
Look,
Because if you look in anyone who is successful and has a nice bank account, you're going to see some real estate in their
right.
portfolio.
Look, Rose, my state is on fire right now.
Yes, it is.
So,
And I
you
pray
know,
for all of those affected.
yes. And but because you brought this up, all this land will eventually have something built on it. You know,
Yeah,
as bad
absolutely.
as horrific as this ordeal is, even though, I believe it was planned for this specific reason, but they clearing out space so that they can rebuild. And anybody smart with any kind of common sense, if you ain't been buying no land, when they start building, you better be trying to buy you some land up over because they just opened up some new space. Because, like Rose just said, ain't no new land. The earth is not developing new spaces of land. We're running out of space. We're over capacity. So you got to get while you can, because in a minute everything gonna get bought up.
That's right.
It ain't gonna be nothing left because we would have been in positioned ourselves to get everything that we could have gotten. But that's the whole point of why you need a sisterhood, a community.
Wise
Why you
counsel.
need it's so vital. It's so important that if you want to make change, like can you imagine our coach? This is her fifth year. This is her fifth year anniversary of this. Can you imagine if in year two she was just like, I'm tired. Ain't nobody coming to help, and I'm hurt, I'm bleeding, I'm wounded, I ain't got nobody to help hold me up, ain't got nobody to help bandage me. If she would have gave up, we wouldn't be talking to you today about this.
Absolutely. And you're right, Kayshawn. This is the fifth annual Black Women's Equal Pay Summit. 5 years. You're right. She could have given up at year 2 or 3, but she
Mm.
pushed forward, built a community of like-minded people, and provides wise counsel where we in turn can provide wise counsel to those who come behind us. That's
Yeah.
how you close your wage gap is you apply for a grant, and that allows you to build something for yourself and for your family and for your legacy. That's how you
Mhm.
close your wage gap. You build a portfolio of the things that matter to you and your family, and that helps the community.
And this is no different than, like, say if you're on a job and they tell you, say you only have a high school education, they'd be like, you know what, if you want a raise or a promotion, go back to school and get your associate's degree, or go get this certification over here, or go to this trade school over here or there. This is no different because just like you would have to go spend money for that, spend time, learn it, pass it, graduate, then utilize that information. This is the same thing. You can be on any job in the world, just about, and take one of these certifications and pay for it and then implement that into your life, into your business. It doesn't matter. It fits in either way. So, which
Absolutely, it does. And see the importance of that is, like you said, it doesn't just help you and your family. It helps the community because
Mhm.
when you have the resources inside your own household, that spills out. That spills out.
Yes.
So go to bit.ly/free women 2020. Get your piece of the pie. Don't miss your opportunity. There's no better ground to sow in than to sow into you and yours to be able to serve others. And like Kayshawn said, this is the fifth annual Black Women Equal Pay.
Fifth
Fifth,
annual.
5. It continues tonight at 8:45 p.m. Join us right here on all social media platforms as we go live, and we would like for you all to be there live with us as well. And you heard us say live. We're not
Yeah.
pre-recorded. We're not running a watch party. This is live and in living color. So in order to join us, register at bit.ly/freewomen2020 because we are really still protesting. Why
Yes,
are
we
we still protesting? Because there's still a gap. And until that gap closes, we are not going to stop. And with that said, y'all, what we ask you all to do, we have to go and do ourselves, you know? So we're gonna get out of here. Kayshawn, anything you wanna say imparting to the ladies, to the world this morning?
just let them know we're still protesting, and we want you to continue to protest with us. And you do that by going to that link, bit.ly/freewomen2020. See
We'll
y'all
see you
later
all. We'll see you in the morning. Have a great day on purpose.
on purpose.
Share the hashtag still protesting.